Waiver wire wide receivers. Welcome back, Jayden Reed, 59% available. Very involved in this offense right away with manufactured touches. 4 catches, 2 carries. Jordan Love, a happy man to see Jayden Reed back in the lineup.
It was big time. He made some big time plays. I think there's still more out there that we could have got him involved in. But, he's just a playmaker. He had that very clutch catch on that last drive. And, he's another threat that, the defense has to be aware of. And we did some cool things, being able to get him on some rounds and some sweeps. But he's just a playmaker. He makes plays when the ball's coming his way.
You know what's? We'll talk about Jayden Reed here in a second, but can I just rail it for a second?
Yeah, sure, yeah. I like you asking permission. That's nice progress from you in year 4.
For people that are listening at home, before we played the sound of Jordan Love talking about Jayden Reed, we showed a graphic of all the Packers wide receivers of what they did last week. And Jayden Reed obviously had a very nice game, as did Christian Watson. But I noticed that Matthew Golden, 1 target, 0 receptions for 0 yards. And it just struck me as just like, the Packers, who for years and years and years and years and years get nothing but grief about you never draft a quarterback, you never draft, wide receiver. You never draft a first-round wide receiver. You never draft a first-round wide receiver. You had Aaron Rodgers in his prime. You never do that. So they finally say, all right, fine. Everyone shut up. We're going to draft a first-round wide receiver. Is Matthew Golden the most disappointing first-round wide receiver?
Didn't take the right one.
I mean,
they didn't take the right one. That's what it comes down to. I didn't think
ever or this year?
Certainly this
Your
year.
Your team took Jahan Dotson. Who was out there last night? Wasn't the Hurts throw to Jahan Dotson?
Given what we've seen Matthew Golden do so far, I'm not convinced Jahan Dotson was the worst pick.
To be fair, they spent pick 34 on Christian Watson, who now looks like a legitimate first-round type of
Watson was a great pick. Yeah. No, listen, Romeo Doubs was like a round 4 pick. They've gotten good. They've gotten good value for their picks. They've gotten production out of these guys. I don't know what Jayden Reed was like a second or a third.
Second-round pick.
Yeah,
I believe.
So they've gotten they've done well at the position. I mean, and they have a tradition of it. Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson. Randall Cobb. There's a tradition of great Packer wide receivers. I'm just saying, the first time they kind of plant their flag.
Yeah. No, it's incredibly ironic. It's incredibly ironic.
And I'm in a crazy deep league, and I dropped Matt. I'm in an insanely deep league where we have to start. This is my friend Mike Clay, and who does a league called the Going Deep League. You have to start. You start 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. It's an insanely deep league, 12-team league. Bunch of experts, and I dropped Matthew Golden in that league.
That's
pretty
telling.
Again, you can actually start up to 7 wide receivers in that league.
Ryan Oswald said Barry is flinging those hands around like he hasn't spilled Diet Coke all over recently.
That's a good point. I'm being a little loosey-goosey, aren't I?
Yeah, let's see what happens. Oh, boy. It's been a while since we had an accident. By a while, I mean about 10 shows ago.
What if we just did that?
Someone think about the electronics.
Yes. Yeah, it hasn't been a great rookie year for Matthew Golden. But with that, Jay, comes opportunity in the return of Jayden Reed. I thought his presence opened the field up more, where you could see the space it created for a guy like Christian Watson.
I think the key is 2 things. One, Jordan Love was looking for him. They threw the first ball of the game to Jayden Reed. And then secondly, he looked like Jayden Reed. He's been out for a long time, and they took their time to make sure that he was fully healthy when he got back. This is a team that has a very explosive passing game. It's going to be high variance. It's not going to be a ton of volume, but Reed has shown, even though he plays in the slot, that he can produce big plays. And so I think Reed, again, you can really count on him week to week. I don't think you can count on any Packers wide receiver outside of Christian Watson, but he becomes, I think, flex viable. I just think there are going to be a lot of games like this where it's, 4 for 31. Sure. Maybe it's more 4 for 49 going forward.
You know the deal getting into it with Packers wide receivers, but they do play Denver this week, and so because he's the slot guy, he'll avoid Surtain. And you could see if there's one area to attack against the Broncos, it is the middle of the field. So Reed, who I've always thought was the most talented wide receiver of the Packers, him and Watson are sort of right there. So it's just I was always like, why don't they use him more? It was a good sign to see him back. I probably would pick him up and then sort of depends on how deep it is, but maybe use him against Denver, but certainly at least to see. Can he continue the success?
Packers 2.5-point favorites in Denver, by the way. Market loves the Pack.
Yeah, they do.
I think Market
also realizes Denver's a little fraudulent.
Yes. I think the Packers are the second best team in football after the Rams.
They might be.
They have an argument for it. I don't think it's crazy.
They're absolutely not crazy. Speaking of Chicago, who I briefly mentioned there, how about Luther Burden? Listen, with Roma Dunze out, Luther Burden had a 21% target share in Week 14. Not a crazy number, but still it was leading the Bears. It was a team high. Also had a 70% route participation in this game, which was a season high for Mr. Burden. And so, we like the talent. And so I know Olamide Zaccheaus caught the touchdown, but, with DJ Moore not doing much, and we'll see if Odunze can make it back this week. But we do think Burden could be one of those rookies that, you see over the second half of the season. Got 3 weeks left, but he's emerging at the right time.
Well, and what you like about Burden is you can get the big play. You can cash in on the big play. He's had a lot of catches of 20-plus yards this year, 15-plus yards this year. So you might need that if you have to start him. But if you're at this point of the year, you're probably not looking for floor plays. No. You're looking for somebody that can explode. And in the Bears pass game that's been shaky, Burden has that chance. He's going to be a guy that's very interesting for us this summer, Jay.
Yep.
Because if DJ Moore is not with this team anymore, and I don't think he will be, it's going to put Burden in a really big role.
Yeah. Also, even though the Bears are 8-point favorites this week home to Cleveland, Cleveland in theory are a pass funnel defense because they've had the best rush defense statistically in the league. I think the Bears can probably just run on anyone.
Right. I agree.
Seems like that at this point, but despite being 8-point favorites, they may need to throw in this one.
Jayden Higgins also makes our cut at 58% available. He's just gotten targets week in and week out, Matthew, and probably an even better situation for him now with Stroud starting to get back in a little rhythm again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, nothing amazing, but quietly, 3 of the past 5 games, he's been a top 30 wide receiver. He's averaging over 6.5 targets a game, since Week 10. And so going up against Arizona, you heard us talk about that matchup with the Cardinals when we were talking up C.J. Stroud, and obviously Jayden Higgins. Seems like he's, the passing attack has really just become, after Nico Collins, it's Jayden Higgins and Dalton Schultz. It's those 3 guys. They haven't been able to run that effectively. So Higgins, I do think, has some, deep league appeal.
All right, our deeper league targets, Ryan Flanoy
deeper,
against the Vikings. We've seen him have some big performances this year. CeeDee Lamb in concussion protocol, which is why Ryan Flanoy makes our list against the Vikings. Kayshon Boutte, Adonai Mitchell still operating as the Jets' #1 wide receiver, although if Brady Cook starts that game, I don't think you're playing a single Jet.
No.
I don't not a Breece Hall, unless you really have to. Mason Taylor, it's just tough with a UDFA quarterback. Devon Bailey, Jalen Coker, Chimere Dike, and then Pat Bryant, Matthew, getting more work in that Broncos pass game.
Back-to-back games, he's actually run more routes than Troy Franklin. This is a guy they liked a lot. He's coming along, and so, Denver likes to spread it around a decent amount, and we obviously don't love the matchup with Green Bay this week. But similar to what you're saying with Burden, Bryant has the kind of talent where he could pop down the stretch.
Yep, absolutely. And also Green Bay's defense, which I think is good, but statistically has never really matched its reputation. The Bears were able to move the ball. The Packers, if Caleb throws that ball a little bit better at the end, the Bears put up 28 in regulation on Green Bay.
That's
so
right.
You can move the ball on Green Bay.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.